Hey everybody, Jason Yee here, and welcome to part 6 of the 6-week tutorial on how to skate like McDavid. And today you're going to unlock that scary speed, and this is what we've been building towards since day 1, since the first module. So we're going to go deep into the hip movement to unlock scary speed. And this same hip movement also unlocks your transition from a forward stride to other downhill mechanics. And we'll go over how to access this hip movement, not through the hips. And we're going to build off of really everything that we've already done in week 6 of 6 here. And you know, what will be interesting is that today in week 6, I'm going to give you a specific set of drills, but then my other direction is going to be to go back through weeks 1 through 5 to do the drills to really get the feeling straight. And now there's one thing that I wanted to just bring up is that when you're doing this kind of thing, the mechanical advantage that you get from, if this is like let's say this is a 9 here and this is an 8, notice that there's a pretty big gap between a 9 and an 8. And then if you get to like a 10, or let's say even a 9.5 or 10, notice that that's a pretty big gap. You know, say if you're at a 7, it's not that big. But if you get really to that part where you have the magic mechanics right, where you have that massive mechanical advantage, that's where all the benefit comes into play. That's where you get way more performance, way more ease. So the magic mechanics are like 10 times easier than anything else. So what you need to just keep in mind is that you need to keep experimenting with movements until you feel that massive click. I call it the McKinnon moment. So when it comes to these mechanics here that we're breaking down and the hip movement, if it's not feeling absolutely effortless, then it's not the magic mechanics. And you need to keep experimenting and filming and testing and getting feedback until it is that easy, because it really has this payoff here where it gets a lot easier once you master it. So that's the first thing to really realize, is that when you're kind of getting to here and we're unlocking those hips for maximum spring, if you're getting it, you'll know. If you're not, well, there's still some experimenting to do. And today we're going to give you some insight into what that is. So we're going to look at the McDavid 3-stride breakdown. I'm actually not sure why I said 3. I had in my head 3. It kind of ends up being 4, but we're really going to break down these 3/4 strides. And what we're looking at here is, for the most part, how McDavid tilts his hips when he is striding. So always the leg that is not supporting, or the leg that is supporting, usually has the higher hip, and the pelvis tilts the other way. So you can see that clearly here, and I'll show you the clip in slow motion, and then you can see it clearly here. This is on the fastest skater. And we can also see it here and here, and we're going to go over these clips. So let's first pull up the McDavid Pump Up 2020. We're going to go to the 22nd mark, and what you guys are going to see is we're going to see it really clearly, the backward C cut. So watch carefully, because here it is. Here comes the backwards C cut stride. What's that, you say? A backward C cut. That is it right there. So this is what we went over last week, which is that you want to start by pushing, but then you're twisting your hips, and you can kind of see how the foot travels back. Now, as that foot travels back in that backward C cut, what do you notice about his hip? Well, it tilts. It tilts like this. Okay, so this is about level. These are his hips. tilted. And when this hips tilt, as we know, the head moves across and it creates that bowing across there. Now, what I wanted to show you as well in these two clips, in the 43-second and 52-second clip, is if we go to there, what we end up seeing is how McDavid often will get, we all know this clip here. We see that McDavid uses the exact same mechanic of kind of like that backward C cut to get around players. So there he is using the exact same mechanic. You can see where the foot starts. You can see how it comes towards the midline and even across. And you can see how tilted his hips are. You see how tilted his hips are like this. And how they swing around. And then, the clip skips here. But that's how he comes around. And then the other, another really good version of that is this one right here. You'll see a really good example of it. Right here, same idea. He's going to take that step around. There's the stride, right? Backward C cut. Watch the motion of his foot. And then you can see around here like this. And again, his hips, you can't necessarily see it, but his hips are now tilted, much like the previous clip. And then now what happens is that foot can travel in a circle, land on the outside edge, right into that outside edge like that. And then he can get wide, corkscrew, pretty nice goal. Now, that's McDavid like striding in slow motion, so you can see that backward C cut and then how it kicks into that tilted hips. Then you can also see how it's a very similar pattern when he's going around players like this, right? We call it like that soft hip. And then this is him at top speed in the fastest speed skater or the fastest skater competition, where again, we're going to see the tilted hips. We're going to see that foot backward C cut and then come around, causing that bowing of the body. And so let's pull that one up. So watching here like this, we're taking a look and watch how on his stride he is essentially cutting backwards like this, and he's twisting his body as he's doing so, and then you can see how that foot travels from here to here, right? I'll back it up so you can see the foot travels from here to here, kind of like a backward C cut. And as that happens, what do you notice about his hips? They're tilted. So that's what he's doing there. And then you can again see how tilted his hips are like that. And then they end up planting out wide. Now, as I mentioned here, we're not going to get to the we're not going to get to unlock that hip movement through the hips. I've mentioned this before, but by trying to explain to you what to do to the hips or what to do with your hips, it's extraordinarily complicated, and it just absolutely doesn't serve the purpose of actually teaching you what to do with the hips to like tell you what to do with the hips. It actually makes much more sense to tell you what to do with your feet, with your head, with your arms. So we're going to do that here. And here is your homework. Okay, first phase of the homework is our backward C cut that we've already begun experimenting with. So what you're going to do is we're going to do this in like a circuit style, meaning that you're going to do one exercise, A, then B, then C, then D, and then you're going to start all over again. And what I want to see you guys do is 3 circuits per workout, and then do 3 workouts per week. And you're going to film one of these circuits, right? So you'll film A, then you'll clip it, then B, then clip it, then C, then clip it, then D. So we're going to do the backward C cut. And again, now that you've got a visual of McDavid doing it, and I'm going to pull that up for you again so you get a real clear look at what that looks like. McDavid doing it here. you can see how similar that position is to this position here. Now, obviously, this position is exaggerated, and that's what we're aiming for, because we want to really have you guys really feel what it is like to soften up those hips. You cannot do this here without fully softening up the hips. And what you'll notice is the hip tilt, the hand across, and then the bowing. And this is what we're looking for. So you're going to do the backward C-cuts, and yes, these are a way more exaggerated movement, but the whole key that we're looking for is this here, that hip tilt and then the bowing across just like that. And that is the backward C-cut. So we're really like, when we say backward C-cut, we really are kind of like C-cutting here, but what we're really looking for is like the leg moving back like this along with hip tilt. So that's what we're looking for, and that's the first piece. Now the next piece, this is kind of part of like a progression, right, is to do a backwards C-cut start. Meaning we're going to do like an actual full speed start. Kind of like what we've seen in the McKinnon clip, but we're going to do it just like how I'm doing it here. This is me doing this off my left foot, and we're going to do just that. Now, I don't want you to practice anything at all with the second stride. I want you to practice straight up this first stride here, where you're taking just that first explosive step. But as you can see, there is that backward C-cut, and then you can see how that foot recovers and the hips are tilted. So you're actually going to practice that. You're going to do one stride. Okay, the second stride I don't care about. It's just that first backward C-cut stride, and you're going to do 5 per side. Then once you've been doing one backward C-cut, now you're going to do 2. Now what you're going to do is you're going to do, in my case, I'm doing left foot, right foot, and then you're done. You'd be gliding, right? That would be it. And you would just do 1, 2, and you would start left, right. That would be one side. Then you do right, left. That would be the other side. So you do 10 total, 5 per side. And you would practice your backward C-cut starts with just 1, 2 strides. Then you're going to do 5 full speed strides. And what that will be is that'll just be straight up, full speed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. And then you would switch. And the idea is to really get those hips tilted and that backward C-cut here in the first part, right? And then start to build that into your stride in the second part, and then build it further, and then build it all the way. But likely as you get to here the first time, right, you're probably going to still feel stiff. You're still going to probably be pushing, that kind of thing. So that's why we restart you at the beginning of the circuit, and you're going to practice the backward C-cut, tipping the hips, really having that leg come across, really bowing, having the head across, really swinging the arms across, and then we'll build it a bit more into a stride, and then into more of a stride, and then to your full speed stride. And that is your homework for this week. Now, if you're having trouble with any of these areas, let's just say you're having an issue with your push angle, right? Maybe you're finding that you're pushing too much, or let's say you're not getting enough inner spring, or maybe your arms are not flailing as much as they should be, or you're not getting the right skate angle, or your head is not moving quite right, or you're not getting the cadence you're after. You have the opportunity to go back in the 6 weeks and go do those drills to readjust what's happening here in week 6. Like here in week 6 is like we've put it all together, and if you've really been going weeks 1 through 5 right, then bango, everything should click for you. If you are missing something, then you have the opportunity to go back, get that right, and then retest week 6 to see how that goes. So this is going to be your last unlock to skating like McDavid. You're going to be absolutely flying. Like I said, we're really unlocking scary speed today. Make sure you're wearing your equipment, because you've seen McDavid go flying into the boards the odd time. That could be you, just flying around, kind of semi-dangerous with the speed. So I'm excited to see clips of you guys in games, excited to see clips of you guys in practice, and post those in the group so we can get feedback, and then also so we can see your success. I'm really looking forward to seeing this. Thanks for watching.